This is Nintendo brought to you by Reality Bending. Oh, I fail. Alright, anyways. Hey everybody, welcome back to more of The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. In the last episode, we defeated Skull Woods and Mothula to get the third crystal, and in this episode, this is it, the Master Sword! No, it can't be it. Too bad. Oh, well, I guess I'll never get the Master Sword. Ugh. Alright, and in this episode we're going to tackle the sixth dungeon, actually, Misery Mire. Yeah, I know I said we were going to do the rest of the dungeons in order, but it's actually recommended that you do Dungeon 6 before going on to Dungeon 5, and you're going to see why later, but for right now, let's go ahead and do Dungeon 6. And to open it, you see this little symbol that kind of reminds you of something. Ether! All right. And that opens up the entrance to Misery Mire, Dungeon 6. Now, Dungeon 6 you can do as soon as you get the hook shot. However, even though you are meant to use the hook shot here, there is actually, due to an oversight, you can actually, if I time this correctly... Oh, shoot. I timed it very wrong there. I did it again. Okay, come on. I can do this. I know I can. There we go. Nice. You can bump into that block because it's just far away enough, and you can have the knockback from the crash send you over the pit. And since you don't need the Titan's Mitt or even the magic hammer anywhere in this dungeon, you are free to explore this as soon as you finish the first dungeon in the Dark World. So yeah, you can do Misery Mire as... Or actually, no, never mind, because you do need the Titan's Mitt to enter the portal. So you do at least need to beat Dungeon 4, but you can do this before Dungeon 2. Now, Misery Mire, only 3 floors, but those 3 floors are pretty big. Again, though, if you know what you're doing, this is another one of those dungeons that you can easily do within like 5 minutes. Judging by how Skull Woods went, though, I'm kind of doubtful that I'll be able to do that. But hey, anything is possible, really. Okay, there are quite a bit of keys in this dungeon as well, so it's always best to have a surplus. Now, I could use the magic cape, but I'm too lazy, so I'm just gonna take the damage and get out. But there's 2 keys in this room, wow. Now, I don't necessarily remember if we need to use that door, so I'll go ahead and head this way for now. Alright, and that unlocks that door. Okay, and unfortunately we can't do anything with that yet because the blue switch is on. And we get yet another key over here. Being showered in keys at this point. Alright, and I believe at the end of this room there's going to be a switch to flip over the blue blocks, and there's yet another key. I'm telling you, there's so many keys in this dungeon. And this is one of those dungeons where you don't really need to go through every locked door, so you could feasibly end the dungeon with like 3 keys in your arsenal. Right, and not the cane of burn. Or I didn't even end up using it. Wow. Okay, there's another one of those fake cracks that I was talking about there. Okay, and then we can lift up this skull pat thing to reveal yet another key. Alright, we want to watch out for the BMOS, obviously. And we just spot a chest over there. We can't really do anything with those set of rooms anyway. Right, there's another key! Just being showered in keys. And we get the compass for that. Alright. Okay, yeah, we don't want to go through there yet. Because it's actually recommended we go this way. Because this is actually the way we're supposed to go for the big key. Okay, now you want to make sure you have a good amount of magic going here. And also... oh, shoot. Don't think I mentioned them yet, but those are whiz robes, very obviously. And they can be a pain in the butt sometimes. Actually, that's why we stopped our Zelda 1 playthrough, because of those guys being so annoying. Oh, shoot! Okay, well, hopefully that won't be too bad. Oh, okay, there we go. So you want to light those 4 torches across the screens here. That guy's just staring at me while this earthquake is happening. He's like, whoa! And unlike every other hole in the entire game, even though this one doesn't have a background on it, you're still meant to fall through this one. And you need to do that because that's where you get the big key here. Alright, and you're spawned down here. And there's a ton of areas to get fairies in this place, so yeah, I'm not too worried about having used a fairy earlier. But yeah, you can see that the Wizrorbs do quite a bit of damage actually. Alright, but now that we have the big key, we actually want to backtrack this way. Then we get the map. Here is the map. I've resisted making that CDI joke for quite a long time now, so I deserve to make it. Alright, and then just to make this easier on yourself, you want to use the hook shot here and run this way before the floor starts to collapse, and you get the Cane of Samaria. Now, what this does is that you can make a block appear, and you can push it and grab it and throw it, and also if you push the Y button one more time, it shoots 4 fireballs on each of its edges. Very situational kind of item for sure. I think it's only used for a total of 1 puzzle in this dungeon, and also it is the main gimmick of Dungeon 7, oddly enough, not this dungeon. You'd think it'd be a gimmick of this dungeon since it's, you know, in Dungeon 6, but no, oddly enough, it's only used in Dungeon 7 to its fullest effect anyway. But the reason it is recommended to do Dungeon 6 now is because this completely breaks a kind of annoying puzzle in Dungeon 5, so it's recommended that you do this. Especially because Dungeon 5 is one of the longer dungeons in the game. Right, and there's going to be more of those red and blue blocks. And oh my god, the boomerang's actually going to be seeing some use now. And by seeing some use, I mean a total of 1 area before it goes discarded again. Alright, and I believe we're coming up on the end of the dungeon here. And you knocked me back into being a bunny. Come on. And we want to go back down because I forgot we needed to turn the blocks back off. For a second there, I thought those were going to be wall masters, but no, they're just the little Zols falling. Alright, and here's the boss of Dungeon 6. Now this boss is actually pretty easy. These eyes are going to take 3 arrows each to defeat, but it is recommended that you just go ahead and attack them with your sword for now. Every once in a while, the big eye back there is going to... Oh, shoot, come on. The big eye is going to come out and stare, and it's going to shoot lightning in the middle of the arena. So... once you see that big eye come out of its little sludge pile there, you want to move out of the way. It's going to do it more and more frequently the less eyeballs there are. And once all of them are defeated, want to get the bow and arrow. And just shoot him down. Boom. Not that difficult of a boss at all. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you! Ganon captured us because we couldn't break the seal of the wise man's with his power alone. And then using the wizard Aghanim as his pawn, he drew us to the Dark World. After cracking the seal with our powers, he sealed us inside of these crystals. He then gave us to his loyal monsters, but Ganon didn't plan on your getting this far. Now Princess Zelda is waiting for you inside of Turtle Rock. Please hurry! May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. And I know 15 minutes is kind of too short for an episode, but there really isn't much to do outside of going into another dungeon, and I don't really want to do that right now. So I guess I'm just going to end this episode off here. Next time on The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, we're going to go ahead and go to Dungeon 5, the Ice Palace. See you guys next time.